Hi, Liz. Hey, Molly. Well, all right. It is 6:30 on Tuesday, which means it's time for another episode of Tiger Stamp Club Live, where we make great cards. And I have another great card for you tonight. Uh, Quickly, let me remind you of the announcements for Stampin' Up. We are in bonus days, which means for every $50 you spend, Stampin' Up will send you a $5 off coupon that you can stack and redeem beginning February 2nd. So you might as well get a little bit back when you're spending money, right? And then the brand new product of the month for January is available. You can purchase the product of the month each month for $5 with a $75 or more order. So let's say you wanted to get the product of the month and you spent $75 on an order. So not only can you purchase the product of the month for $5, you're also going to get a $5 off coupon. So it's like getting the product of the month free. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Susan. Um, so, we are also in a brand new mini catalog that goes through April. And if you don't have one and need one, please let me know and I'll make sure you get one. We are going to be using items from the, I think it's called Lovely and Beautiful. Let me look here real quick. Oops, there goes my glue gun. Lovely and Beautiful Suite, which contains a couple of different bundles, some gold die cut or laser cut pieces, some bling, some ribbon, and some DSP. And it's on pages 24 and 25 in the new mini catalog. So let's take a look at the card we're going to make tonight. Well, let's take a look at the two cards that I had up for voting. I had put together two cards, and then on the Tiger Stamp Club Facebook page, where we are right now, I said, which one would you like me to make? And I asked you to vote. So both of these are just so pretty. I think these were done with a color challenge that involved fresh freesia and some things. But this one is the one that won the voting. So this is the one we're going to make tonight. And they both use items from the same suite of products. So I like how different they look and how you can achieve different, looks by using different parts of the same collection. So I really like this one. This one was designed by Bertie and one of my favorite artisan designers with Stampin' Up. I just like how she layers things, and she always has extra layers in there, and she just uses all the stuff all the time. And, that's my very favorite kind of card that has all the stuff on it, right? And so this is the one we're going to make tonight. And I call this a sympathy card, but it really, it could be something, else. You could always change out the sentiment, and this would work well for almost any occasion, right? And so I'm going to set that right there, and we're going to take a look if I remember where I put all my stuff. Oh, it's right here. We're going to take a look at some of the items that we're going to use tonight. So here are the stamp sets from that suite that I was talking about, the Lovely and Beautiful. And this is the Simply Beautiful bundle. And so you have this stamp set that is a mixture of images and sentiments. And then you have these coordinating dies. And we're going to make good use of these coordinating dies on tonight's card. And then this bundle is called Beautifully Celebrated. And we're going to use this die from it. That's all we're using from this bundle. And then we have another bundle called Lovely Arrangements. And I love how these all go together and work together. And we're getting our sentiment from this Lovely Arrangements bundle. And here is the Always for You. Always here for you. We're going to be using that. And then some supporting older items that we're going to be using. We're going to be using one of these circle dies from the Spotlight on Nature. And these circle dies have these little decorative elements all the way around them. Very useful set. It's been around for a good while. And I always like coming back to them. And then we're also going to be using the textured notes. And you notice that both of these die sets are layering dies. That's my favorite kind. And this one, the Spotlight on Nature, has so many in it. And we're going to be using those. And then the bling that we have tonight is the one that goes with this suite as well. It's called Pearlized Faceted Circles. So we're going to be using that as well. And then let me grab the DSP. I forgot to grab the DSP. Where is it? It's right here. So this is the DSP, and it's called Lovely and Beautiful, 12 by 12, specialty DSP. So let's take this out and take a look. And you're saying, Manny, specialty DSP, what does that mean? Well, that means there's something special about it. And so here is, I should take a list off. One of the things I like about our DSP sets is that they always come with a list of coordinating colors. So when you're picking inks or cardstock to go with it, you know exactly what is going to match. So the coordinating colors with this DSP set is Calypso Coral, Darling Duckling, Fresh Freesia, Old Olive, Peach Pie, Petal Pink, and Gold. So for example, when you're trying to decide, oh, I want to die cut some leaves that go with the DSP, and you know we have several different color greens. Well, right here it says Old Olive, so that's why I chose Old Olive cardstock to die cut my leaves from, because I can be very much assured that it's going to coordinate. So here is a really pretty floral design, and then on this side you've got the brighter colors there, and it's all outlined in gold foil. So that's where the specialty comes from. And it's just so pretty. And then usually on any of our DSP sets, you have a themed side, and then you have a more muted side that will go, you know, with almost any occasion. So there's that one. And then, oh, of course, we have two sheets of each one. And then here is an old olive sheet with leaves on it. And then on the back side, you've got these pretty, pretty flowers. Again, with the gold. Two of those. And then here you have the fresh freesia flower. And then on the back side, you've got these leaves and flowers, again with the gold highlighting. Very, very pretty. And then here is peach and yellow and fresh freesia flowers. And then on this side, oh, just totally gold. Very rich, very pretty. And then one more. Here you've got the Calypso Coral. Oh, I guess we have two more. The Calypso Coral on one side, and then on this side, these large gold accented florals. So, so pretty. And then the last one is this yellow check. And then on this side, more very pretty florals. All right, let me just kind of get that out of my way here and bring over some of our pieces. And I already have the recipe typed up and ready to post. I'll post that on the on our Facebook group page, so you don't really have to worry too much about the sizes, because I'll post that and you can print that off and be good to go. But I did kind of want to show you what all you're going to need. So this is from that DSP set. You're going to need a panel, and I use the fresh freesia because we've got a card base of fresh freesia, and then this is going to layer. DSP is going to layer, and it is going to be 5 1/4 by 4. And then also on the inside, which for some reason I already adhered it in, you've got a piece of basic white for the inside mat that is 5 1/4 by 4 as well. And then you have another mat to go on the front that is 5 by 3 1/2. And then you have a fresh freesia mat that is 4 1/2 by 3. Then you have a die cut basic white from the Textured Notes. And then to layer on top of that, you have another DSP that's 3 7/8 by 2 7/8. And then lastly for our die cuts is the Spotlight on Nature circle die. We're going to use the striped edge circle. That is the second largest one from the set. So those are the pieces that we're going to layer tonight. And then in addition to all of that, for die cuts, you're going to need 2 of these sprigs out of basic white. And you're going to need, there's 2 different shaped leaves dies out of old olive, so use one of each. And then we're going to use the smaller flower dies, and there are 2 that layer on top of each other to make a full flower. So you want 2 sets of each of those. So the smaller flower pieces that go together, we want those die cut as well. And then from Darling Duckling, you want 2 flower centers. And then I've been noticing that Birdie and has been doing a lot of this. She fussy cut pieces from the DSP. So you're going to need some flowers and some leaves. Let me just get these all set out here and I'll tell you about them. So for the fussy cut flowers from the DSP, you're going to need 2 of the smaller, this is peach color. You're going to need 3 of the smaller Calypso coral color. You're going to need 1 fresh freesia. And then you're going to need 4 leaves with the gold veins in them. All right. That is all our pieces that we're going to be using tonight. All right. And then lastly, on a piece of basic white, a scrap piece of basic white, you want to stamp your sentiment in Versamark and then heat set it with gold embossing powder. And that will finish off our card. All right. So those are the pieces. I'm going to slip all this stuff back in here for a second. I'm going to keep those out, I think. Yep. Put those in there. Hopefully I don't lose them. And now we're going, well, that's not going to be good because I need to build on that. And actually, like I said, you don't really need to take a note of these measurements right now because I've got the recipe ready to post. So you'll have that. Let me get them off here. And I decided after making my my example card that I would probably work it a little differently than how I cut it up for my original card. Because usually I work from largest to smallest, you know, because that's how it appears on the card. But I decided, because I didn't know exactly how big I needed this piece, and it's based on this piece. So I decided that I would, if I was doing it again, and I am, I would die cut this piece first, and then measure how big I needed the DSP piece, which I did, and then I would layer this on top of that first. So that's what I'm going to do now. Let me bring over some glue. Hey, Barbara Milligan. Hey, Yvette. Hi, Nancy. Thanks for sharing. Oops. Now I got glue all over my... So I die cut this out of basic white, and then I measured to see how much, or you know, what I needed for this DSP piece. I think I have something I can wipe that off with. There we go. I love my glass mat. All right, so now this is good, and this is going to layer on top of this fresh freesia piece. So that's why I found it easier to work from smallest to biggest on this card, because she has so many layers going on. And now this is going to layer on here. And then after I put this card together, you know, she didn't have any measurements on her. I just base it off a picture, and that's usually how I do it, because a lot of these artisans don't have cutting dimensions posted with their cards. And so I just kind of have to figure it out. And so working from biggest to largest, I thought this piece needed to be cut down more. So for tonight's card, this is smaller than this one. And we're going to see how that looks. Now this layers on here. There we go. And now all of this will layer on top of our DSP piece. Oops, scoot it over. Looks about right. Card front. And I'm just trying to get it on straightish. There we go. So let me show you the difference in that white panel. And it's really not a whole lot smaller, but it is enough, and it seems to be more balanced, having it just a little bit smaller than I cut it on this one. This one still is beautiful. No one would, whoever I'm sending this to would not notice. But, that's the benefit of doing it twice, is that you kind of figure out a better way the second time sometimes. And so there we go. There is the base for our card. All right. And now let me just stop for a minute and see. Let's see who all's here. If I've missed saying hi to anybody. Jane. Hi, Jane. Hi, Jen. I wanted to follow along, but my paper like that won't be here until tomorrow. Well, you can do it tomorrow, Jen. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Kelly. Thanks for sharing, everybody. All right. So now we're ready for this piece. This is a circle, and it's going to go, and I'm not going to pop this up because all these other elements is going to be enough dimension for our card. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue there. And then I'm going to put this on the front over this DSP panel and to the left here. There we go. Now we've got a good foundation for the other elements of our card. And so now I'm going to bring over these small flower die cuts. And there's 2 pieces to each of these. And I am going to grab my mini glue dots. And then I'm going to just layer these together, if I can get that to get out of my way. And when you layer these together, you just want to figure out how to put them together so that the petals are as offset as you want them, so the flower looks a little bit fuller. So I did it like that. All right, let's do that again. I'm going to grab a glue dot. I'm going to put it here in the center. Then layer these together, offsetting the petals again. Trying to decide how I like it best. That's good. And now that I have those together, I can grab my flower centers. See if I can pick up here's my fine tip glue gun. I'm just gonna put a little dab of glue there and a little dab of glue there. There we go. Now I'm going to grab some mini glue dots, mini Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to add one to the back of each of these flowers here. Are you guys ready for this cold weather we're about to have? Possible snow. You guys are getting ready for that? All right, so this one is going to go right about, let's see, I'm going to pay attention to that flower center, the direction. I'm going to put it right about there. And I put it on a dimensional. That way I can sneak the other elements that we have behind it, hopefully. Something like that. Those two are popped up. And now I'm going to bring over all our die cut pieces and fussy cut pieces, because that's what we're going to start arranging. And you'll notice I have some larger leaves and some smaller leaves. 2 die cut leaves. And then the flowers. All right. So I think I'm going to add some glue to this sprig here. And then this is going to be snuck under here and sticking out this direction. And I think I have to trim this one just a little bit. So I just cut off the long end of that. Oh wait, I'm going to put some leaves down before I put that sprig on. All right, so I'm going to start with this leaf. Yep. And it's going to point up this way. And I'm just trying to mimic Bertian's design. Got to get it underneath there. This one's going to come out this way. And then one of these is going to go in. I mean, go like that. And we're going to grab a peach flower. And sneak that in here. Now I think I can put this on. I think I had glue on it, but this is going to sneak this way. I never thought I would be a florist, but whenever I put together a floral card like this, it really does feel like you're arranging flowers, you know what I mean? Even though I'm just going by what Bertian did, as closely as I can. And then this little coral flower is going to sneak in here. And that little pop of color right there, I really like that coral pop of color right there. And then we're going to put a peachy one under this way. And a freesia one and a coral one. Right now, I've got a leaf. I'm trying to figure out where my other small leaf is going, because I don't think I think I only have 3 of these on my card here. This one's going to come out this way. Why didn't you put the ones in behind on first? Because I find it easier to tell it. I find it easier to put the focal ones on first and then slip the supporting elements in behind. That way you can tell if you're happy with the placement better. But I mean, you certainly could. But if I didn't have those flowers on there, I wouldn't know how far to stick in the leaves and and all that, I don't think. That's a good question. I'm going to try and sneak this in. Let's see if I can. Let me see. Is that good? Here we go. All right. Do I need this other flower? I mean, leaf? I don't think so. Yeah, that might be good. Since I already have it cut out, I'm going to go ahead and use it. There we go. All right. And it just shines with all that gold highlighting there. All right, now I've got my sentiment here, and I'm going to fussy cut it out. So I've already stamped it in Versamark. And now I'm just going to fussy cut around here. So don't forget, hopefully the weather will be okay for Saturday, because that's when our class is. If it's bad weather, then I will we'll reschedule, because I've got some really fun cards for us to make. All right, I'm going to add some mini glue dots on the back of my sentiment. Actually, on this one's going to overlap the flowers here. So I don't need a dimensional there because this flower is already popped up. But I do need dimensionals on this end. So let's put a couple on this end. And then on this end, we're just going to add some glue. What do you guys think? You think this is since it says always here for you, do you think that's a sympathy sentiment, or what do you guys think? That's what I'm calling this card, because it kind of hit me as a sympathy sentiment, but maybe it's not. Maybe it could work for something else. All right, oh, here they are. I was like, what did I do with my bling? And so the sentiment is heat embossed with gold powder, and it really does go well with all this gold that's in the fussy cut DSP pieces. And now we're going to add some bling, and these again are called pearlized faceted circles. And they're in the mini catalog, and they're part of that same suite, so they're going to be on the same page as the other items. And trying to remember. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna, these are the ones right down here I thought seem to have more of the yellow in them, even though they have the coral as well. So that's why I chose this one. So I'm gonna put a big one down here, and then two of the smaller ones up here. And there we go. A very, very pretty card to send to somebody to let them know that you're thinking of them, that you're there for them. I think this would be a beautiful way to let somebody know, you know, that you love them. And I just think it's so pretty. I love all the stuff, you know what I mean? All the stuff that goes into making a card like this. So again, let me just pull out, let's pull out the one that I usually most for the die cutting, these, the Simply Beautiful bundle. Hope you like that card. I thought it was really pretty. And encouragement, good Yvette, you're right. And it just could be a card to encourage somebody. Yes, someone that's facing a health problem. Yes, very good. Good job, guys. So I am going to clean up here and go through the comments, and I will be picking somebody to win tonight's card. Remember, if you've commented during tonight's video, then your name goes into the drawing one time. If you've shared tonight's video, then your name goes in twice. You just have to let me know in the comments that you have shared it, because Facebook does not always let me know who has shared and who hasn't because of privacy settings. So what do you guys think? Isn't that pretty? I just think that's such a pretty card. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see who wins tonight. I will see you next time for another great card. Bye, everybody.